All right, guys, welcome. We are here in the ultimate man cave and home office of the extraordinary Mike Calderwood, and we welcome you to the BAM Blog Breakdown, where Brian Kaiser and Mike Calderwood, and sometimes on Mondays, Aaron Zambrano, break down expert business blogs so that you can better understand and apply the information to your business and your life to get real results. And that's what we all want. We all want real results. So before we really get started with today's breakdown, skip on over to our YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe. Okay, just go ahead. It's easy. It's simple. Won't cost you any money. It's free. Just push the subscription button. This is going to allow you to get all of our blogs. You can look at all of them and review them and get all the information of all the BAM slamming blogs that we've done in a cool, fun, energetic way. And secondly, it'll notify you each time that we put up a new content. And we put up new content twice a week. So
if you like the content, share it with your friends.
That's right. Share it around. So why wouldn't you subscribe? There's no reason why not. So go ahead, get over there and subscribe. So like I said, I'm your humble co-host, Brian Kaiser, and I'm here today live with Mr. Mike Calderwood. And so, I mean, tell the folks how you're doing.
And I'm doing great. I'm loving this live thing. This is kind of cool.
The live thing is cool.
It is pretty cool. I'm liking it. I'm thinking the energy is going to be pretty good today. And we have a great blog breakdown for everybody. So let's get rolling.
Absolutely do. This is coming from one of our EOS guys, our implementers, Jim Coyle. And you can skip on over to eosworldwide.com and look at in their blog section and find this. But it's called Learning from Failure, Blessing of a Good Mistake. You ever made a mistake?
Once.
No, one time.
Once, yeah.
Man, don't admit to that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but you get over and take in the blog. So, I'm going to go into the summary, and my summary is really short, but I think it's very impactful. So, skip over to the blog, read it in its entirety. Jim did an excellent job taking us through a story that really, really exacerbated the point of this blog.
Yeah.
Really good. So my summary actually starts with a quote of his from the blog, and it's simple. It takes building a good leadership team to build a great company. It takes building a good leadership team to build a great company. Now, he takes us through a story of how he had to utilize a team that he had put together in one of his businesses when they were really struggling and they were looking to get out of some of the struggle, and it was a financial struggle. And he told us and took us through this story about doing it. And as he reflected back on it, it was because he had a good leadership team that was very insightful that he was able to overcome some major obstacles, some obstacles that would have put other businesses totally out of business. I mean, it would have killed them because they wouldn't have been able to do it, especially if you're, on your own. So whether you're a solopreneur, whether you're a lifestyle entrepreneur or a small to mid-sized business owner, or you're a multi-level marketer, you're going to have to look at who is on your team. You're going to have to look at building a team around you. And people are going to say, well, Brian, I'm a solo guy. Why would I build a team? Well, you build a team by hiring a coach. That would be a good idea. You can also, who are you going to mastermind with? Those people that you go mastermind with, other businesses, maybe you're the solo person, but you're going to have other business owners that are like-minded with you that you can bounce ideas off of.
You might even have vendors or people that you use to outsource to, like CPAs and lawyers.
Exactly. And those people, even if you're a solopreneur, you're the end-all be-all. You wear all the hats and you do all the functions of the business. You can still have a team. Okay. And small to mid-sized businesses, you're usually going to have some staff in there. And you need to take a look at your staff, and we'll get into that more in the application piece. And then, of course, I threw out the multi-level marketers, and most people are going to say, wow, Brian, you're crazy. That doesn't work in that business. That's exactly what you need to do so that you can be successful in that business. Yep. Is surround yourself with people that inspire you and motivate you and can help you grow. Okay, so, whether you're working in these businesses, building a good leadership team, and what that looks like in each of the ones I listed above is going to look different. But the fact is that, then Jim takes us through and driving this home, is that we aren't going to reach our potential and we're not going to be able to overcome all the obstacles that are presented to us sometimes on a daily basis, but it is inevitable to happen. You're going to have some monumental obstacle that you're going to have to overcome. You're not going to be able to do that alone. You're going to have some people surrounding you and energizing you, giving you new ideas, taking it from a different perspective, and helping you get over those hurdles. It's better with a team. You're probably not going to reach your potential on your own. So, Mike, that's my summary. It's pretty short, but I think it's, like I said, very impactful. And I know you probably had a good takeaway from this blog.
I do. And I'm going to actually start my takeaway off with a reference, and that is Einstein said that a problem can't be solved with the same level of thinking that created it. Okay. And this isn't to beat anybody up. But look, I create problems in my life, in my business, because of my level of thinking, right? So it takes a leadership team. It takes people around me to help me raise my level of thinking and see a different way of thinking before I can solve a problem that I created with my own thinking. So that's kind of part one here. And then part two is it's also been said that the teacher will appear when the student is ready to learn, right?
Yes.
And I think that one of the things Jim does really well here is he helps us understand that that mistakes, depending on your perspective or each one of our own perspective, how we look at mistakes, if we're ready to learn, that mistake is our teacher.
Right.
And so we can learn a lot from really shifting our mindset from kind of management and dealing with problems to leadership and being proactive about solving problems and creating systems that prevent future problems.
No, that's a great point. And, that's one of the real impactful things that Jim did is in his telling the story, he's reflecting back on it, and he's pointing out the good things, but he also identified some of the things he could have probably done better in the knowing about these problems and keeping a better eye on his business, all those kind of things. But he identified and he let you know about it. He wasn't scared. He put it all out there on the table. And so you could see both sides. You can see the positives, you can see the negatives, you can see where he could have done better. He pointed those out. It was really good. So, from that, we're going to get into the three keys. So I'm really looking forward to the three keys, and I'll let you take it from there.
So we're going to do the Brian Kaiser 3 keys to the blog. That's BK. And so real quickly, something just came to my attention, and this is not by design, and you're not going to want to miss Monday's BAM. Do you realize how tightly this ties into Mondays?
Now that you say it,
I know. And it didn't dawn on me until you were doing your summary. And so
very impactful summary.
Yes.
Told you.
So this is almost like a 2-part thing that was completely unintentional. So anyhow, Brian Kaiser, 3 keys to the blog. First key, you got to change your perspective of what a mistake is. Okay. You've created a problem. You've made a mistake. As Jim says in the fiasco, whatever you want to call it, you have the option of how you want to perceive that.
Right.
Okay. So you can look at it as an opportunity, as a blessing, like he says right in the title, and as a learning experience, like I mentioned in my takeaway, or you can look at it as a curse or a failure or a reason to quit for a lot of people, right?
A lot of people take that path.
They do, right? Well, this is a problem, and I can't seem to get rid of this problem. You got to change your perspective.
Right.
Okay. So it starts here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second is put the right people in the right seats and move with them.
Interesting that you did that, and I didn't even review his notes, but you guys are going to like the application.
Okay, cool. And then part of putting the right people in the right seat is when the right people in the right seat, and everybody's happy and everybody's self-managed and everybody's leading along together, we're all rowing in the same direction. When we row in the same direction, there's no resistance, or at least resistance is minimized. Right. Okay. Right. And then the third thing is put the tools and systems in place for those right people that you spent time, money, and energy to put in place can actually succeed.
Right.
Don't put people in place and just go, well, they're adults, they'll figure it out. You got to create, right? Yeah.
I don't know how many times that's ever worked.
All right. Okay. So exactly. So we've got to take the right people, put them in the right seats, and give them the tools and the systems to succeed, right? So exactly. It's kind of a flow here. So with that, that's the Brian Kaiser 3 keys to the blog. Brian, I'm looking forward because I know you kind of did your notes last minute as we were doing a whiteboard session over here today. So
he told on me.
Now I did. Yeah, I did. So let's get into the Advantage application.
Definitely. Now, and it builds right on the 3 keys. And like Mike said, I've been doing a lot of changes in the business and doing a lot of things to generate business. So I had to do my notes last minute, and that's my fault for burning the candle at both ends a little bit in the last couple of days. Had some great events though. It was a lot of fun. So the Mike Calderwood Coaching Advantage application, and this is really key, and it builds right on those 3 keys that Mike just went over. And what this blog did, and what Jim is kind of inspiring us and teaching us and guiding us to do, is to take a look at your team. Take a look at who you're surrounded by, okay? Look at who is on the bus with you, okay? Are they seated in the right seats? What are their unique abilities? Do you know what they are? Do you know each person that's on your team? Do you know their unique ability, what they're the very best at doing? Do you know that? If you do, then ask yourself, what am I doing as a business owner to support and to grow those abilities, as well as use them and leverage those abilities to grow my business? Because human capital is very important. It is probably more important than actual monetary capital in the business, because without that and without understanding who's on your team, what they're the best at doing, and then utilizing that and supporting them and helping them grow further, then when you come across a situation like Jim identified in his story, it makes it very difficult to get over the hurdle, because, as you point out, the 3 keys, if everyone's rowing in the same direction, as you put it, it's much simpler. But if you don't have the people in the right seat on the bus, and they're trying to do a job that is not the best thing that they're the best at, then now you have that friction, and you have them trying to be something they're not, and they're not natural at doing that. And natural in this instance is, you have these abilities that you master quickly, and that's your unique abilities. You mastered those fast. How can you grow those and make those even better? And if you're fighting against those abilities, or trying to use other abilities that aren't so good at, then you're probably going to have that friction, and it's probably going to cause you to not reach your potential. And that's what, the whole point of this blog was to show you how putting these things and building this team and having, the forethought to, see and identify things in your business so you can grow and not have to go out of business. And, there's a big thing to be said about small businesses going out of business in 5 years, because they don't take time to grow themselves. They don't take time to grow their team. They don't take time to look at who's seated with them on that bus. And are you utilizing and helping them and supporting them and growing those unique abilities so that you can actually grow too? So that's the application. I'm challenging everybody. Go look at your team. There's some different people have a little different exams, if you want to call them assessments, to identify your abilities, what you're great at, what you're good at, what you're not so good at, what you totally stink at, and identify those things, but be open about it and be honest. Because if you're not good at something, if you don't enjoy, like me, I can tell you right now, I hate paperwork. Don't do paperwork. I stink at paperwork. I stink at record keeping. I have to find somebody that enjoys that stuff and being organized and all that stuff, because I'm not that guy. I'm never going to be that guy. I can work at it till I turn blue and pass out, but I'm never going to get better at that because I hate it that much. Right. It's just not me. Right. Now, going out and talking to people and doing all that kind of stuff, I love it, and I'll excel at it, and I keep getting better and better and better at doing those things. So, Mike, how are you engaging and aligning your team? And I use that word there because I know that you like that, and we've talked about that a lot on the BAM.
Yeah, alignment's huge. Yeah. So a couple things real quick. Before I answer that question, you actually reminded me of a story.
Excellent.
And so you were talking about, it not being in harmony and maybe even eventually quitting or closing down your business, right? The flip of that is when I was selling commercial printing for years in Arizona, okay? And we used to sell for this Mexican restaurant. They had 3 locations. They were packed all the time, very successful. These 2 guys made a lot of money. They were buddies from high school. They were about 20 years older than you and I, so that probably puts them in the 40s now. Yeah, ding. And no, actually, they're probably in their 60s now. Right?
We need the ding. We need the bell.
Boom. And but I used to go over there, in off hours to deliver their menus and their advertisements and this and that. And you never saw these guys together, working together, and neither of them were ever happy. They hated each other. They resented the business. They resented one another. They resented the entire thing. They were going through the ropes because it produced income for them, but they hated every minute of it. That is a horrible way to run a business. And a
horrible way to live your life.
No kidding, right? So with that, how am I engaging and aligning my teams? Well, leadership starts with me. Okay. So you mentioned something about, knowing what each person's unique abilities are. That includes me, right? So Brian and I collaborate on a lot of things. I know my strengths, and I've gotten to know your strengths. Mm-hmm. And you fill some of the gaps where my deficiencies are, and I fill some of the gaps where your deficiencies are.
Correct.
Okay. I have a girl that helps me with my web and my social media and stuff on and off. She's good at certain things. She's an at-home mom. It doesn't cost me a lot, and she fills a lot of the gaps of things that I either don't want to do or don't have the time to do. So guys, this isn't always about having a C-suite of corporate executives and all that. And if it is, it still applies. You can even apply this all the way down to marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I am horrible with finances. I got this nice, beautiful home, more square space than I need, blah, 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 blah. Got 2 vehicles that run fantastic, get us from point A to point B. We got money in the bank. We go on nice vacations because of my wife. Because if it were me, we'd be living in a van down by the river, just like that old SNL skit, right? So you've got to know where your strengths and weaknesses lie, and you need to align yourself with people that can fill those gaps. Now, leadership starts with me, and then it flows to the other people, the people I outsource to, my vendors, people that are on my internal team, people that I collaborate with.
Right.
So for me, it starts with me. It starts with me. And you mentioned something else earlier, and, network marketing, it doesn't work that. Whatever it is, if you don't believe this, talk to any business that's running successfully, and they will tell you that businesses live and die on leadership, period.
Yep. And, we usually, at this point in the application piece, we usually, I ask Mike, hey, Mike, what did you learn? Hey, Brian, what did you learn? Well, today I'm going to challenge all the guys, the ladies and gentlemen out there that are listening. We want you to go and comment on what did you learn. Tell us, what did you learn from us breaking down this blog from Jim Coyle? Okay, go read the whole blog. It's up on the EOS Worldwide website. You can go over to eosworldwide.com and check it out. Read the entire thing. But what did you learn? We gave out a lot of really powerful information, and we told you almost verbatim how to go and apply what Jim taught us by doing this blog.
Yeah.
So what did you learn? Did you learn anything? Did you learn something? We want to know. We're challenging you.
And feel free to put those same comments at the bottom of Jim's blog post as well of what you learned.
Absolutely. So with that, this has been another Bam Slam home run breakdown from the Ultimate Man Cave and home office of Mr. Mike Calderwood, where, we've broke down an expert business blog so that you can better understand and apply that information to your business and your life for real results. And you can do that right after this. You can do that today.
Yep.
So, look forward to new editions of the BAM every Monday and Thursday at 11:30 Central Standard Time. Be sure to do exactly what I told you at the beginning. Zip over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, make sure you check out the other Bam Slam home run blogs that we've broken down. A lot of great information, a lot of great application to that information there, and you will get a notification each time we put up new content. And like I said, it's twice a week, Monday and Thursday, so you can look forward to a lot of great content coming. Now, if you need help, this, like Jim's content here, really, like that's where you're at, you need someone to do that, reach out to Mike or I, and we'll make a personal and professional introduction to Jim or someone on the EOS team that's in your area that can help you and better serve you. Or maybe maybe you need a whiteboard session and you don't know if you need a coach. You don't know what kind of coach you need. Mike and I are both available to do that for you and help you identify what your best next steps are. We'll identify where you're at, what's working well, what's not working well, where you need to go. And if we can help you, then we will. If we're not the best people, which we're not the best people for everybody,
right,
we got people that like Jim and the EOS team that we can refer you to and introduce you to. So just don't hesitate. Go ahead and do something.
Yep.
Make a move. Take a little action. So if you're searching for a coach, if you need some professional guidance in finding a coach, reach out to us. We are here to serve you. And, this has been another BAM Slam, and we're going to leave it with, how can we help you?
And thank you to Evernote.
You know what? We have to thank Evernote.
And we have to thank Evernote. Evernote keeps us organized, keeps our notes in line, and keeps us collaborating on these BAM Slam projects.
Absolutely.
So thank you to Evernote.
Thank you to Evernote for the collaboration.
And all our sources, too.
Yeah, and all our sources for getting this slam. So, like I said, how can we help you? We hope you've enjoyed the information you've got today. How can we serve you in the future? We look forward to seeing you next time. We're out.
We're out.